YouTube, Halo Guy here. Today we're going to be looking at a video by a Hyperion called Pro Halo Players Aren't Actually Good at Halo. I had a quick skim through this video and I must say, pretty much disagreeing with the entire sentiment of it. So we're just going to jump straight in and see exactly what this guy is saying. I'm just going to skip the intro because it's kind of trash.
Hyperion, and as you just saw, today we take on what it means to be skilled at Halo. And while I think we all understand being skilled can be reflected by basic player performance, in today's video we take it a few steps further and claim that doing good in Halo is not the same as being good at Halo.
What? Being good in Halo is not the same as being good at Halo. If you're doing good in Halo, you're good at Halo. If you're good, you're good. You can't just change some words around and say they're not equal.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do here is shape up some kind of unified perspective and define what it means to be good at Halo rather than being good in Halo.
If you're good at Halo, you can beat the average player.
Halo, I'm saying that this person has an advanced understanding of the gameplay sandbox as a full package, and can in all instances utilize the sandbox at any point to succeed in the game. In short, a skilled Halo player would be able to do good with any generic part of the game. Now, I'm not saying to be skilled you need to get like a unfriggin' believable with the plasma pistol. I'm saying that in an instanced moment, a skilled player could, without hesitation, use the plasma pistol in the best way possible to create success.
What, like a noob combo? Pretty sure don't think I've seen a pro player not use a noob combo at some point. The gun is used.
The topic from Remnant Snow takes that assumption and basically says, if a player is not proficient with every part of the game, they are less skilled than someone who is.
Okay, so that's with the assumption that because pro players remove certain weapons and abilities from their mode, that they're not good with those things. Where really it's the exact opposite. They remove certain things because everyone is too good with those things. It's the reason why you only get 2 rockets instead of 4. It's the reason why the sniper ammo is reduced. Because the players are really, really good with those weapons. They can use them well. So they've reduced the ammo to reduce the impact of them. If you want to keep using them, you've got to have the map control to regain control of the weapons. And the reason certain things are removed, it's really, at the end of the day, to remove randomness from the game. Guns and abilities and settings that induce randomness do not belong in a competitive environment. Blooming Halo Reach, that created a sense of randomness to all of the gunfights, especially with stuff like the DMR. Yes, okay, pace your shots. That's what every sort of casual player will say. Pace your shots. That's fair enough. Yep, pace your shots. But then the guy that's spamming might get lucky and hit all the shots even though he's just constantly spamming his right trigger. That is randomness. Randomness in a competitive environment. Environment.
Okay, so
doesn't
knowing
belong
this, the issue we're going to attack here is how ranked, competitive, or pro Halo is played. Since the virtual dawn of competitive play, these skill modes have been built on foundations of filtering, disabling, and removing select parts of the Halo game.
To remove randomness.
Simple examples over the years have included removing radar, armor abilities, and certain pickup weapons.
Okay, the radar's not for randomness, so I'll have to explain that again. Radar removal created a less defensive playstyle within the competitive environment. Having your location showed at every point without any external communication, like callouts or pings, creates a very defensive playstyle within a hyper elite level of gameplay. You can't go around the map freely because people will see you on the radar. As for armor abilities, I mean, you're showing armor lock. Like, don't even need to explain why that's bad. Even non-competitive casual players do not like armor lock. Weapon pickups, yeah, Pure Word's not there because you've got rockets. Beam rifle's not there because you've got a sniper rifle. What the competitive environment done very well is remove redundant weapons and just had one. You've not got 2 snipers, you've not got 2 rockets. they've really simplified the sandbox so that the players could do well with one version of each weapon class.
Weapons, but even affects basics of the game. Some games have changed movement speed, melee damage, and literal weapon damage, as we know. Nearly all comp experiences are also directly built on having a primary loadout precision weapon as opposed to an auto, unless
because the precision weapons, yeah. I can't. In what world would a precision weapon not be more competitive or skillful to use than an auto? An auto has a bloom effect, creating more randomness into the gameplay. The moment-to-moment gameplay at that, because it's your loadout weapon, it's the main weapon of the mode. Using a BR or a DMR means that you have to be accurate with every shot, you have to time your shots, because they don't just come out all at the same time.
Let's not forget about the total neglect of vehicles inside competitive Halo play as well.
Is this guy a retard?
The gist idea here is that virtually no venerable competitive Halo experience actually involves playing Halo as intended. At the start of each title, showrunners in the comp scene cut away and shape the actual Halo gameplay experience to fit very picky and restrictive rules.
To make it more competitive.
Now, an observation I'd like to make right here
to remove
is that
randomness
when
again.
Showrunners and players do this, when they filter out Halo to fit their specific desires, they also pair that with calling the cutaway content casual. I joked about this on my Let's Argue series, but casual is a weird half slur that gamers like to use.
Casual's a slur. Casual's a slur. A slur. A fucking slur. No, we did not just say that. What? Casual's a slur. Casual's the mode. You got casual and competitive. It's not a slur. It's not even an insult. Jesus.
You notice that pro players use casual like a slur? Like, oh, fuck
yes.
me, man. God forbid I have a job. Something that is casual is less valuable, less important, and less skilled, quote unquote. And to be called casual is to be diminished in value as a player.
No, it means you play the game
weirder
casually.
To me than gamers trying to have an ego trip over other gamers is how it works.
I don't think there's one Halo Pro player that's this fat, but okay.
People don't want to be called casual. They want to be skilled. They don't want to be affiliated with less skilled things, so they flock to what's more skilled. Again, quote unquote. This is a silly sentiment because in reality, these comp players are not qualified either by like real education and training or by employment to decide what is.
I think they are, because Free for Free and many other gaming studios literally employ competitive players. Bravo got hired by Free for Free. Free for Free have their own pro team of ex-competitive players, and I think the people that play the game day in day out for competitive reasons are going to have more insight into the game than the people that made it. I mean, look at some decisions that Free for Free have made, or even Bungie. Some of them weren't good at a fundamental gameplay level, and if you actually look at like gameplay from developers, they're normally pretty trash. Like, I think Silver and Bronze players are probably just Free for Free employees.
And isn't best for Halo. That's the
just because you make
job.
Games doesn't mean you know how they work
well. We could almost do a whole video about the weird, condescending nature of comp play, but we should get back to today's topic.
Yeah,
Let me know
agree.
if you want that video in the comments.
Nah.
Okay, so let's recap really quick. To be good at Halo, you have to be able to use everything in Halo well.
Pro players can. They can use everything well. They just choose to get rid of the BS.
Comp players, both real pros and the fake pros on Twitter, don't actually compete using everything in Halo. So at the end of the day, are they really as
not going to repeat
skillful as
myself
they
anymore.
want us to believe?
They are.
As I'm sure you're
1v1 a professional player and you get to pick the starting weapon, they're going to beat you. They're going to beat you in every gunfight. Not every gunfight. You might get lucky with a couple. Bulldog starts, they're going to beat you. Sniper starts, they're going to beat you. AR starts, they're going to beat you. Sidekick starts, they're going to beat you. Rocket starts, they're going to beat you. They know how the game works in and out. It doesn't matter what weapon you give them. They choose weapons that aren't OP, and the OP weapons that they keep in for power weapons, they reduce the ammo count because they don't want so much power in their hands. They want a competitive environment. That's why they chose the BR and the DMR for their starting weapons. It's not a hard concept to grasp.
They're doing right now, I cross-reference competitive Halo with major sports. My natural correlation was that even the best NFL quarterback probably won't be the best striker in soccer. I'd be a little shocked if LeBron James was a good hockey player. I start thinking about racing too. Is the best NASCAR driver inherently a good dirt biker? Is the world boat race champion the world's best cyclist?
What are you getting at?
If you're comparing esports with the more physical sports like above, then you might be willing to give pro players a break. So what if they aren't great with the spiker? They're better than most with the BR, so that makes them a
spiker. What are you talking about? When do you want a Halo player with spikers in Halo 3? You're gonna lose. I don't think I've ever been killed with a spiker. And if I have, it was because I was like one shot and they just went and got me. I don't think the spiker's actually good at all outside a campaign. It's a campaign-based gun. Talk about bad examples.
Pro still, right? At first, I agreed, and I would have stopped the video right here, but I realized the correlation between
probably shouldn't have even recorded it.
And real sports is an invalid one.
You can't compare them because they're not the same.
Comparison. And it's not so much what the player in either can do, it's more about the game that they're playing. Esports isn't about peak physical ability, it's about manipulation of a system. It's more technical. But more importantly, in Halo, it's a game of equality. The other game esports is actually most like is chess. A game of strategy where a player is trying to utilize all the tools in their arsenal, the same arsenal as their
I'll get behind
opponent.
that.
A good chess player must be able to utilize all their pieces to their advantage to create victory, and be able to reevaluate the use of those pieces in a moment's notice. Could you imagine a world champion chess player starting the game by taking their rook and knight off the board, or by putting the queen in the front row, or if they were allowed to like hide their side of the board between turns?
Read that. Competition rules. Moving pieces. One hand is taken off a piece after moving it. The move cannot be retracted unless the move is illegal. As for the touch move rule, an arbiter who observes a violation of this rule must intervene immediately. That's an extra rule for competitive chess. Goes more into about that. If you touch a piece, you need to move it. Timing. There's time restraints in competitive chess. Like, your argument doesn't work because your argument's wrong. Competitive chess has a slightly different rule set. It's a casual chess to make the game more competitive.
That's the correlation most akin to Halo's comp scene. Pro players redefine the rules of the game and market their redefinition of Halo as somehow more pure or desirable.
No one said it was more pure. You know how many variations there are of Halo? There's the campaign, there's the casual gameplay, there's like the mini games like Infection, Griffball, and then you've got the competitive Halo. Halo has so many opportunities to adapt its gameplay to fit different niches.
But I think the larger Pandora's box here is that if Halo's comp scene actually meant playing Halo, no holds barred, the comp scene would dramatically change. The first reason being that the comp players who succeed solely under the special rules made for comp would start to fall off.
No, they wouldn't, because they're good at the game. It doesn't matter what doesn't matter what weapons or abilities or different settings are tweaked. The people that are good at the game are good at the game. It doesn't matter. Like I've said 1,000 times.
Generalist understanding of the game. Second, you would see the skill gap at the highest levels widen some, as players who are both pro and have mastered.
Listen, some of the weapons that are removed are like pretty much just straight up useless, so they wouldn't even be used regardless if they were on the map. Then you've got the hyper good weapons, which everyone's going to be fighting for, just like power weapons. Nothing would change. All that's going to change is the amount of kills that are going to be gotten with really powerful OP weapons.
Master manipulation of the actual game are now free to basically wreak havoc any way they want. But the third and probably most important change would be the shift in the meta. Players will naturally seek out the most effective tactic available. It's the nature of the gamer. As Comp Halo would see to shift to now include a complete Halo experience, you could see unorthodox strategies start to emerge as players fight long and hard to abuse what they find to be the new complete meta.
Yeah, let's just go towards the Manglers and fight over them and just play Mangler Slayer.
In short, competitive Halo would undoubtedly be changed, because up until this point,
of course it would be changed. It would become more casual. It's not handicapped. If you actually think it's a handicap version of the game, you're out of your mind. A handicap is making something easier. Competitive Halo makes it harder, not easier. Giving everyone spawning everyone with a rocket in their back pocket would be a handicap. Spawning everyone with a BR is not a handicap.
Back to the original question. Since current pros don't actually play Halo in its entirety, are they actually entirely good at Halo?
Yes.
I think it goes both ways. Like I said, there are definitely pros who have a master manipulation of the whole game. And from my point of view, these people are the actual, real, venerable pro players. But I'm not so callous to simply write off the people who only succeed in the limited parameters. I mean, even when filtered, not everyone can be a pro. So there's something to be said for people who at least understand those rules well enough to be pro. For today's
Yes. Okay, he ended on a high note. I'll say that. He just refuted everything he said in the video, so I don't even know what the point of this was.
Question, answer this. What part of the Halo sandbox and gameplay experience that is usually removed for competitive play should return in order to make comp play more representative of the real Halo gameplay?
Nothing.
That's going to do it for this video.
And that's going to do it for this video. Oh, I don't know. We've got the entire video just going over everything. And then at the end he's just said, oh no, the pro players are better anyway. So, like, what do you... Okay? I guess? Yeah? Okay. Sure. Guess we're done. Like the video if you enjoyed, helps the channel out a ton. Subscribe and notifications if you haven't already, stay up to date with all my latest videos as soon as they go live. I'd like to thank you all for watching till the end, I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time, and have a good one.